Traders, how we doing? How we doing out there? Yes, you made it. You made it to Money Mitch. Sorry about the wait there. Was waiting for the other show to kick off there. We were doing a little rundown, but definitely, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about some market sentiment. We saw it. We saw it. What we thought we expected. A little bit of a pullback today, so definitely we're going to get into that. CCIV catches some support. I'm going to talk about how I find the next story stocks. We're going to go through a lot of stocks today, guys. We got a lot of stocks. I did a lot of notes. We'll take a look. A lot of this is a watch list more long than actually getting into these, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I get after these today. So definitely stay tuned, guys. Hit the like and let's go ahead and get Money Mitch started. It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch. What's going on, traders? Welcome back to Money Mitch. You guys already know where you guys are at. Give me a big old thumbs up. Let's get the show started. What's going on with the chat? How we doing out there? Definitely. Someone's already asking the question, did we get the C-pop? I don't know about the C-pop. You know, I haven't checked that one out, but I'll definitely have to take a look. Rich in the house. You guys already know. Pat, wow. Yeah, I guess he already checking it out. I definitely have to take a look at that one. So what's going on out there? Definitely welcome to the show. We're going to get into it. Let's go ahead and take a look. What did we trade out there today? How is the market sentiment? Let me turn on my light here. I look a little dark. What's up, Gabriel? It's good to see you in the house. Let's go ahead and take a look here. How did we look today? Let's take a look first at the SPY. Of course, let's take a look at the SPY. SPY kind of went sideways today, but we had that indecision candle, right? We were wondering we're going to break that low and come down through the 427s. We actually held that 427s. So same thing I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. Can we hold 427s on any downside action? If not, I think we could get a pullback. But really, I mean, take a look at the Qs today, guys. You could see it. Indecision candle. I had a feeling we'd get one of these. You know, we were really pushing on up, getting up there towards that trend line. Now we got that indecision. Now we need to really pay attention because, you know, this is what we were concerned about a little bit, where we're going to get a pullback in tech. And I mean, just look at it. Look at this red here, guys. Definitely a pullback in tech. We got a big pullback there, and I kind of expected it. And now the question is this going to continue, or is this just a one-day trend? There was some pockets of strengths. We're going to talk about that. Where were the sectors? Where should we really be looking at? We're going to get into that. So definitely, guys, stay tuned. We'll talk a little bit about some sector analysis and some industry analysis. But I got a lot of industries that I have already gone through, and I'll just name kind of the industry, and I'll name the ticker, and we're going to take a look at a lot of stocks. I think I got more than 20 stocks here today. So we're going to take a look. We're going to fly through these. A lot of it is going to be if any of these just kind of come up on the radar, that they stand out to you guys. If you guys see any of them standing out in the chat, I want you guys to go ahead and just start slamming that ticker in the chat. Just keep putting it up. When you see that and you get bullish one and you like it, go ahead and just keep slamming that back. I won't get mad at you if you spam a little bit that ticker, because that's what I'm asking for. Let's go ahead and get it started. Let's take a look at what we saw up today. Apple, not a bad day, 0.5% day, not a bad one. JD. I'll go into JD really quickly. You guys will be mad at me. I sold JD today. I'm kind of a little upset that I sold it today. Reason why I sold it, it was just going sideways. I was feeling the pressure a little bit about being live. And yes, I sold out today. And it wasn't a bad move. I mean, we were looking up towards this 80. Really wasn't a bad one, but I think I could have held on to it and gave it a little bit of a chance to ride for a little bit up higher than that 80. So if you're in JD, I still like it. I still think it can continue moving, especially on the daily candle, holding that trend line, really starting to push on out. Let's see if we can get a really good breakout tomorrow. then start really getting through those levels, those 80s. Next stop up after 80s is going to be up there towards 84, but not a bad move there in JD. So this is Chinese e-commerce. Let's see how Baobab performed. How did we get a move in Baba? It actually kind of pulled back, so keep your eyes on this one to see if it rips out tomorrow. Baidu kind of did a pullback day too. So JD kind of looking at the strongest there from those Chinese ones. We're going to get into some of these diversified retails, definitely kind of like TJX. But some of the ones that I wanted to talk about before we get into that, we've been waiting. We've been waiting, guys. We've been waiting for CCIV to really take off to the next level. The lucid dreamers, just like we got lucid dreamers in the back here.
I'm a lucid dreamer, Money Mitch. What's going on, baby?
Lucid dreaming, baby.
We got the whole crew here, baby. You're talking about lucid dreams. That's my favorite Juice WRLD song. So we thought the whole crew would show up.
I hear you. Liquid money.
Yeah, we got Pepsi. We got Didi. Hey, Didi, you know that new Chinese Uber IPO?
Ooh, I saw that today.
You saw that? Guess what Didi has that Uber doesn't have? They have something specifically for when you get wasted and you need a ride home.
Hold on, I'm going to Miami this weekend.
They'll send 2 people to you. One dude drives you home. The other dude drives your car back to the crib so you have your car there. Boom. What? That's the #1 issue with taking Ubers.
Changer.
Game changer.
That's what you call that. Game changer. Exactly. for sure. That's what you call changing up the story. Definitely. Hey, I'll definitely take a look at that. But CCIV, I mean, we need these autonomous cars to get us home, right, Luke?
I don't like CCIV as a
You don't like it, man? It's ripping, bro.
I know. Maybe I like it as a swing trade, but
that's exactly what I have it on for.
There you go.
It's not necessarily that I'm a bull, but look at that little breakout. Brutal. Starting to come up, tough, and there's a huge gap right here. That's really what I'm concerned about. Are we going to get through those levels and get on up there? Because if we get up there, I mean, Luke, the thing went up to 64. We're now down to 28s. That's still good risk to return there. So I'll definitely be watching this one. I'm in this one at 25, 22, right in between this kind of in-between stage. So right underneath it. Now let's see if we can really get this one riding through the 30s. You already know it. The Luke ambush. They tried to get me. I saw them sneaking up there in the back there.
Oh, you did? I suppose it took too long to get my mic set up. But all right, Mr. Money Mitch. I just want to come on and say you're putting in the work for the people. You're dropping the stocks. You're doing it when you should be taking your midday nap. So everybody throw the shout out, okay?
Hey, the only way we gotta bring the stories, gotta bring the trade ideas, because if not, I mean, where would we be? It wouldn't be Benzinga, really. One of the things that we do here is we're not just only about news. We are the stock market here, guys. So CCIV, definitely look at this move. Starting to look good, guys. Remember what I talked about? The hourly was so important on this one. Look how today we kind of came back down and held an hourly, but really kind of wicked through that 26. Remember I talked about how that 26, we wanted to see it hold. It wicked through, came back up, and really held it. When it reclaimed, the volume started coming in. And then you saw a really good volume push up here in the 2730s, right at that resistance. Now we want to see it keep above that 2730 and continue its move through the 30s. And this one can really start riding. I think if you look at it on the weekly, now you're really starting to see that kind of cup look. And what did we want to see? We wanted to see the MACD cross over there. So the MACD starting to get that crossover. We're going to look to see if CCIV takes that rip. What's up, Richard? Do I still got an echo? I think the echo went bye-bye. That was all Luke, but I'm not going to stress it. We had fun there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see if CCIV can get towards the next level. Next stop for us is going to be 32s. Once it gets up towards that 32s, we can really start testing that gap that we see on the daily chart. And that's really what I want to test is that shadow, because we test that shadow. I mean, I'm going to be really feeling good. The shadow starts around 36, and then we can start testing on up through that wick, getting on up here towards 50. And that would be a hell of a move there. I'm going to stay in this one. I'm holding on tight. Where are my CCIV bulls at? I want to hear you in the chat, but definitely let's keep it going. All right, guys. So when we return, we're going to go ahead and start getting into all these stocks that I got on this list. There's so many different industries that we need to take a look at. And this is really what I try to do for you guys here on Money Mitch. So definitely stay tuned, guys. And when we return, we'll get into some of those industries.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
What I love about you guys, you just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.
What up, guys? How we doing, traders? Let's go ahead and let's get into some of these industries. Sorry about the echo there. We'll go ahead and have that. We got that fixed now. It should be good. No echo. Let's keep it going. Now, this morning, I was taking a look at some of these industries. This is what I do often, guys. So one of the things is if you're going to find story stocks, you got to start getting better also at finding the rotations, because the rotations happen all the time. And I hear this from traders all the time where they'll start talking to me, but what happened? What happened? What happens is a lot of the times you're in one industry, let's say you're in EV, and next thing you know, there's a rotation out of EV, and it could be moving into a different play, and you're not catching that rotation. Thus, you get left holding the bag while the rotation goes away and then comes back. Yes, a lot of times you will get that rotation back, but I want to be on top of these rotations. So a lot of that has to do with sector analysis and looking into the industries, seeing what's hot, what stories are coming, and what potentially could get these stories to run. Once you can do that, you can start taking a backwards approach. That's what I like doing, guys. I don't like looking forward at just stocks and trying to pick stocks. What I like doing is taking more of a macro approach, looking for these industries, and then looking into certain companies. Hey, is that company match in this sector, in this industry? And does it have a good story? Does its technicals match? The fundamentals looking good? Then I start feeling good. And then boom, I start getting that herd mentality where I'm trading with the trend. And this is so important. I definitely can't stress this enough. I like trading with the trend. There is some people that trade well, counter trend, but I like trading with the trend and the herd, because once I got the herd behind me, and a lot of times what I'll do is I get into a trade and then the herd gets into the trade. And I think that's what started happening today in CCIV. That's why I think you're going to start seeing a lift. That's what I try to do, guys. Stay with the sector, stay with the news flow, and keep moving. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here at some specialty retail really taking off. Keep your eyes on this sector. The next one up there we can take a look at is apparels. Apparels has done a little bit of a pullback, but as you can see, it had like 4 or 5 days where it was green. Now we've had about 2 or 3 days sideways. Let's see if we really start getting a lift. I know I saw Duluth Holdings really ripping out on this one. But semiconductors, you guys seen it, the big strength that we've seen lately, and definitely starting to hold that. That's what was on the watch. Consumer cyclicals, we'll definitely keep a watch on some of these as it's starting to break out of this upward triangle. This is what I try to do, guys. And then I'll come back and I'll look into industries like, let's say, footwear and accessories. Footwear and accessories, a lot of this candle has to do with Nike. That's why it did that big pop. But with that Nike, of course, you can take a look at some other ones to see if they get some lift. Like, let's say, Under Armour, Dick's. You can look at Foot Locker was up this morning. And those are the kinds of moves that I can kind of look at. So, okay, so Nike has a good story. The index is really starting to rip. Let me go start looking at some stocks. Seen in there is there's a story that's lagging and can get a lift. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and let's take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down. Let's go a little bit further. Let's get into some of these stocks and some of these industries that I got. So first things first, we can take a look at my Vizio. My Vizio, I've been waiting to see this kind of day where we really can get through this high. We're really starting to test. We've had a high through that wick. I want to get through that 28.80 on Vizio. I've been holding on since 21. Can we get that lift through 28? That's what I want to see in Vizio. What's helping me in this one is when you look at Roku. Roku's still doing well. Look at that push today, 462, almost to 500. I had called this one multiple times at the 300 level, thinking that it could get towards 500. A lot of people looking at me a little crazy, but as you can see, Roku's still looking strong, can make that move towards 480s, and a big push up today. Nice move, 4.26%, which could keep moving up Vizio. So Fubo can also get a lift from this. I'm expecting to look to see if Fubo gets a lift tomorrow. I'll keep my eye out on those three, but definitely let's see if that Vizio can keep rocketing. Let's get into some basic materials. So I'm going to go ahead up and put the industry here on the left-hand side. Basic. You guys probably hear my keyboard going off. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into some basic materials. So the stocks that I'm going to be looking at here right now, one of the ones that I want to take a look at to see if it's going to come back, this is a lumber stock. But as you guys probably have seen, lumber futures have been falling massively. But at one point, the lumber shortage was actually pushing the average price of a new house, and this is according to the National Association of Home Builders, $36,000 on the premium there. So definitely, I'm wondering, it's come down all the way. It's had a couple bounces. Can this one get a lift? It kind of crossed over on the MACD, starting to look like it wants to trend back. But I'm not sure. I don't know too much about lumber, but I can tell you right now, at least the chart's looking good. Fundamentals, I have to look a little bit deeper inside this company, but the chart is looking good there. And so with that being said, we can definitely take a look here to see if this is going to get that push up. If you look on the weekly, it really did get that lift, came back down. Can we get through that level, that 74, and really start pushing? That's WFG. WFG, this is a lumber stock. BCG. That's BCC. All right, this one's another one, also basic materials. Let's see if this one can get back up and start pushing. I'll definitely keep this one on radar. Really, you want to see it hold that 56. Look at the daily chart. Let's look at the daily as we begin in this lift, a nice little curve effect. Let's see if this one gets through the 59.60s and starts lifting on up tomorrow. Next one up, UFPI. This is another one that's starting to get that a reversal kind of trend look. This is when I start getting these on radar, so I can definitely put these on my watch, make sure that I'm looking for something, and then we'll see if they can really start popping. One thing that I'll look for is, let's say if we can get some catalyst in any of these, and I'll pay attention to see if it gets that lift. What's up, guys? How we doing out there? What is the ticker for Vizio? That's VZIO. VZIO. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. There you go. Pat knows it. Pat knows it. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, you know what? You know what? I can use the Pro here that has the watermark. That's why I like I'll use this charting. I got you. Boom. All right, let's keep going. Let's go towards another one. Let's get into one that I think could potentially run. This is a luxury good. Remember how I showed you guys that specialty realtors were moving, right? And so this one's a luxury good that is starting to look good here. And this is going to be FOSL, Fossil. If you guys know Fossil, definitely take a look at this one. Look at this daily chart. I have seen this one run before. That's why I'm keeping it on watch. If I kind of draw this trend line, I've been seeing this action. The real question, can it come really start pushing through this level, this 1487, and really try to get back up there towards that 16? I'm going to be paying attention towards this one tomorrow. I would want to see a quick reaction from this one. It really did pop up on my scanners, and I just said, It's interesting. We'll see if it can kind of keep going. But specialty retailer here, you're looking at Fossil Group, FOSL. Let's take a look how it trades on the hourly. How did this one trade on our hourly chart? It really did start kind of getting this downward trend where I'll be looking for a pullback closer towards 14, but then a quick rip up through the 1450s to start testing those 15s and then maybe getting up towards 16 tomorrow. This is Fossil Group. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going towards another one. I'm going to get into some apparel here. I talked about it a little bit, but Duluth Holdings. Let's get into some apparel here. This is going to be DLTH. DLTH really starting to get a lift today. You saw that big move up. We'll see if this one can continue to make a move up. I'm not saying to go ahead and jump in this one. As you can see, it's already kind of a rocket that we've already missed. But what can we do is we can try to find some sympathy plays or find some plays that this can go ahead and kind of give some industry push. So let's go ahead and take a look here. What other plays are looking good? BKE kind of looks the same as that breakout chart. So look at this one, Buckle. Buckle's on the breakout. Another one that's on the breakout, CTRN. City Trend is starting to look good. This one's an interesting one. If we take a look here, this is why I like Benzinga Pro. If you scroll down to the bottom, if you don't know why a stock is moving, scroll down. This one actually released in June a 30 million buyback program. So that's a good sign there. Let's take a look at so we can understand what the company exactly does. It's a retailer of urban fashion apparels and accessories in the United States. So one of the things that we can take a look at is at their PE, right? Their PE, what's the PE? The PE is 10 here. So we're doing a little fundamentals check, a quick fundamentals check to the industry average of 17. So a lower PE means more of a value play. So I like the fundamental outlook, at least from that side. Let's take a look here on the chart, see what we're seeing. And if this one could continue making a move, definitely got some volume about 2 or 3 days ago, had a high wick where it made a run already up towards a high of 88.01. Today, we only got to a high of 87.57. So make sure that we get through that high tomorrow, 88.01. But I'm going to be paying attention to see if this one can really get a lift. And that's CTRN, City Trends. What's up? What's up? How we doing, guys? What's up? Hit the like. Hit the like. How we doing? Daniel, what's your question here? Which one would you go long? Which one would you go short if you had to choose between Google or Google L? How do you see the differences in between these two? Interesting question there. I mean, that's a little bit of a deeper question there. I could get you a good answer, but I mean, I can just take a look here off of it. One of the things that you can do is, you know what? Let's do it this way. All right, so if you take a look here, you're starting to see how GOOG is pulling back here towards the support. And then you take a look here on Alphabet, you're starting to see how it kind of holds kind of more of a sideways trend here on this one. Let's take a look here on the weekly. Yeah, kind of more of a sideways trend. You see how it barely kind of makes these big pullbacks, but also you could say the same thing on GOOG. Look how this kind of sideways action going up, but definitely there's a little bit of a topping action right here on the weekly. So be careful with that on GOG. But I wouldn't necessarily trying to. I mean, with these, what you got to do is you got to size in accordingly. So one of the things is you're talking about a very expensive stock. So if you're getting this one, you're not getting it in one shebang, right? So I would take a look at that retrace, make sure that you're getting off support. And if you want to get them, I mean, I would use maybe a little bit of options on kind of GOOG, and then maybe you could actually trade Google. And then you can kind of use a little bit of options to kind of help you hedge yourself when you need to. But honestly, these are kind of higher price names. And I don't even trade Google. I should have some in my portfolio, but maybe in the pandemic was a time to grab it. I never really traded a stock up there at that $2,000 level. So I'm going to stay out of this one, Daniel. But if you like them, Yeah, it's not a bad trade there. At least you're getting them off support. The question is, if you kind of do a little hedge in between, you could do a little hedge in between, kind of do a relationship, go long and short on one side. I know that you could do that, but then you could also just do long on Google and then maybe use the Qs to kind of hedge also. I know that's kind of a strategy that you'd probably see kind of someone like Dennis Dick use. So definitely that's probably a better question to ask Dennis tomorrow, Daniel. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Let's get into some other stocks. I got some ones to take a look at. All right, so apparel, we were getting into some of these, but let's go ahead and let's finish up here. DBI is another one. Designer brands here, guys. I'm going to take a look here at this chart. Reason why is we're off support here. Nice little look here off the 16 bounce. A lot of volume that came in when it spiked on up there towards 1830s. Let's see if this one can recover here. Designer brands. All right, let's go to another one that I think could get a move here. Ross is definitely looking interesting. Definitely recovered from that pullback. Now looking like it wants to start pushing and trending up towards that 130. We'll be paying attention towards this one tomorrow. This one's not going to make a big move up. I don't think this is a massive move, but at least this one has some good sideways trend, so you don't have to stress too much about getting a huge dip. And so that's why I kind of like Ross here, ROST. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into another one, TJX. TJX, look at this chart. Similar chart as Ross. Very good looking chart after the pullback. Starting to push up. Very similar chart. Let's see if we can get through that 68 and really start pushing up there towards the 74. All right, the next ones we're going to start talking to is about resorts and casinos, guys. I want to get into some of those resorts and casinos. I know there's a lot of stocks being mentioned in the chat. I got you guys at the end. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some stocks from the chat. Let me run through these right quick, and then I'll get you guys right after that. All right, let's go ahead. Let's run through these. Resorts and casinos, CZR, of course, Caesars Entertainment, starting to look good. It had a nice little bounce day. To tell you the truth, I honestly didn't mind that bounce there, because one of the things is you got that kind of that push out through the resistance and then a hold on the support, pushing back up there. Let's see if this one can continue and start making kind of a new trend. I would take a look here at the weekly. Let's take a look here. The dog's going barking. The dog's going barking. You already know they might be a Vegas fan. We'll see if this one can hold this 100 on this pullback, get back above that 110, but we'll see if CZR gets ripping. That's Caesars Entertainment. BYD is an interesting one because now we're starting to talk about some more gaming plays here. Look how this one's really starting to create and had a lot of volume on the week prior. I like that it had that volume. I'm paying attention towards that. Let's take a look here on the trend line. If we draw here, we're going to see kind of this trend look. Let's see if it really starts getting back up there. Really, it's kind of made a one push up, a pullback, another push up, a pullback, a push up, held that support. Now, as long as we can hold this support, I'd be feeling confident that 58.50, you can say right there. Now we're at 61.49. So there you're looking at possibly about a 3-point risk, but I think this one could definitely make more than a 6-point rip out. Get us back above the 68, get it above that 70, and break out on BYD. All right, there's another one that I want to take a look here. This one's an interesting one because I've been seeing a lot of information about their kind of sports betting. A lot of people know about Bally because it kind of has that the sports network now. A lot of the Fox Sports became the Bally. I'm going to be paying attention to see if this one can get a lift. As you guys see how I've drawn this, I want to see this one as it's taking that push up and it's come back. Can it get some lift and really get back up there to 60s, 64s, and 68s? This one's a really interesting one to me. BAL, and that's Bally's. And this has sports betting also with some media. That's why I like it. It's kind of diversified. It's not just one type of play. And they got casinos, land casinos. They got a whole bunch of diversification here, guys. Check it out, guys. BALY. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into one more. Well, I actually got two more here in the resorts and gaming. I got an interesting one here. This is Marriott World worldwide vacations. So the vacation worldwide is really all about kind of those timeshares, right? And one of the things that we're seeing is a lot of people go on vacations. So could this be kind of a pop here right off of support? One of the things I would state is that they did get a huge amount of volume right here, right before it on the 25th of June. So you kind of have to hold towards these lows. Make sure that you're holding towards those lows, and it has to come ripping on right back up there towards the 165. But an interesting chart here, VAC, that's Marriott Vacations. What are you guys thinking about the Marriott Vacations idea or some of these kind of casino stocks? I know WK, you're mentioning LVS. The problem with LVS, WK, is that LVS is Las Vegas Sands, right? So you're thinking Las Vegas, right? No, they're actually getting out. They actually sold out of Las Vegas. They're moving on out. They're more of a Macan. And then if you really pay attention, you'll start seeing that in China, at least the gaming has been slow. And then in the Macan, you're actually starting to see that they still have that 14-day quarantine. And so that's really important there. And so to me, LVS just doesn't have it in their business. Now, Tonya bringing up a good one that I wanted to bring up at the end there. Interesting one here. Let's take a look at Penn. Now that we're getting off of these weekly supports, I'm really getting excited about Penn. I do have RSI, so I don't know if I'm going to dip my toes in another gaming play, but look at that support, long-term support on the daily, keeps bouncing off of that level. That's when I start getting excited. A lot of volume started coming in this one. This one could rip out tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think you could see Penn just start turning around and just start ripping. So keep your eyes on this one. I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'll let you know if I get in this one, guys. It's going to be really tight if I do take this one, but I like it. This is Penn, Penn, Penn National Gaming. If you look at the 1 weekly chart, it also looks great. I mean, look at that support right here. Really starting to hold that 73.05. Let's get another push up. Let's see if we can get that push up. Either way, I do expect this stock to have a good fourth quarter and a good third quarter. So we'll see if this one can get another push on up. All right, Wealth, do you like that one for a long term? Hey, at least keep it on watch for sure. VAC, why not? You know, vacation rentals could start ripping again. A lot of people want to go on vacations. IGT, that's not a bad one to mention. I've actually done a big thing on IGT here, but this one needs a little bit of a pullback. It's just pushed up way too high for me. I think it needs to pull back first. One that you can take a look at is Score. Score is a Canadian company, but it already popped with that Canada news. So you got to wait for it to pull back down and maybe start pushing back again. That's CAR or C. That's SCR. Oh my God, I'm getting tongue tied here. Let's keep going. Let's go ahead. Let's get into some of these last stocks that I got for you guys. I've been ripping through it. We got about a couple minutes left here, so let's go ahead and then we'll get into stocks from the chat. Got some energy. Got a tech stock to mention. Let's see what we're gonna get into. This is an interesting one because we're seeing tech pull back, right? But we're also seeing some bounce off the support. So Mogo is one that I'm going to put it on radar just because of the daily chart. Look at this daily chart, sideways action at $7. We got to pop up towards 8, pull back, sideways day. Now we're hanging out here. The big thing is, are we going to hold 750s on pullbacks? And are we going to break out through $8 and really get that lift that we need to get us through 9? And so I'm paying attention towards this because if I draw a trend line from this first wick and I draw that, I can see that it held very well today on that pullback. And that's exactly the type of pullback that I like to see. Now, the big thing's going to happen tomorrow is that it's going to have to get through that 801 on the upside and really push on up. But it could come down to test the 750s really quickly and then just start ripping on up through the 8s. So I'm going to put this one on radar, guys. This is Mogo. The Mogo, we'll see if it has some Mogo and some juice in the move tomorrow. That's MOGO. So definitely Mogo is on the alert. Penn's a great one too. Definitely great potential for sure on that one. I could see it back above 100. Let's go ahead. Let's get into one last one. we'll be paying attention to see if we can get some reopening plays to really start moving. CCL didn't have the worst day today, kind of a little bounce day. We'll see if these kind of get strong tomorrow, and they were just kind of washouts. ULCC, Frontier getting a bounce up. We'll see if this one kind of does the undercut and rally. We really need a big volume bar to start pushing on this one. But we'll see if these airlines can also catch a bid. AAL coming back down towards support. Are they going to catch a bid here, or are they going to go ahead and break through support? Definitely on radar to keep it on. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into some of the stocks from the chat. Let's go ahead. Let's knock it out. All right, so I'm going to knock my other charts out so I can do this really quickly. But I'm going to go quick, and I also want you guys to join in me in the chat. So go ahead and put a 1 if you're bullish this stock. Put a 2 if you're a bear in the stock. All right, let's go ahead. Let's run through these. Gabriel's up first here. I saw that GHVI call out. Gabriel, I see you out there. GHVI. Let's go take a look. Gore's holding. Beautiful, beautiful move starting to go up. This one's really starting to get that lift and attention. It's one of the ones that you really got to kind of watch now on the hourly. Got a monster lift today, going up there towards $17. I think this really has to do, I give you the news, but Gabriel, what I recommend for you is if you really like Gore's holding, I do another show, a better show on SPACs. And so definitely check out SPACs Attack. Chris Opedia, Chris Ketchy, our SPACs writer, joins me on SPACs Attack. And together we talk about SPACs every single day. So go to that show. Stay tuned. We'll talk about this one tomorrow, and we'll get more in depth. Let's go ahead and let's keep going. Let's go to another one. All right, guys, let's go towards NIO. NIO actually had news this morning. Pretty much, it really wasn't about this morning. It's about the weekend, but pretty much they have a lot of their pushing on the pedal. Look at, I'm an NIO. NIO has really been pushing on the gas pedal for growth. And as we can see from this moment down here, when it really looked terrible at the 33s, we were talking about this stock as just like we were talking about XPEV and the Chinese EV would get that first motion. As you can see, continued movement in Chinese EV. We can look at XPEV, which was the one that we had that we literally just called it off this breakout right here. And we're going to continue to see if these Chinese EVs keep moving. They all still look great. They're all still kind of in the bullish trend. LI also. Look at LI. Boom. Look at that move from the bottom 17 to 34. That's a monster move there, guys. If you stick with Money Mitch, we'll definitely keep a watch on these. I'll get these on your radar, and it's going to be up to you always to pull the trigger. But the first thing and best thing I can do is get it on your radar. And then from that moment, it's up to you guys and make the investment decision. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into some other ones here. Jay mentioning MU Micron. Let's take a look here on the 5-minute. I know this one had earnings. And as you can tell from those big old wicks, we'll see if it catches the bid. One of the things that happens here, you see how it kind of looks like a downward trend, but if it really starts ripping back up, it looks like it holds that and gets it right back up there. I'll be paying attention to see if this one can hold that 83. That's really the point that you want to see it hold 83 here. If it holds 83, it's not the worst looking chart, but Micron, let's take a look at the daily. Daily has maybe a pullback coming closer towards this kind of 83 period that's making this gap back down. And then we'll see if it can kind of curve back out of this. This is Micron. All right. It looks like you got TEL mentioned here by Hertz. Let's take a look at TEL really quickly. TEL, look at that bounce. I like that bounce. I actually was looking at this one earlier in the day to see what would happen. Really, I think this one really is trying to create kind of this kind of curve effect. But what's going to happen is I'm looking for a pullback towards 450s. 450s would get me a little bit excited on this one because I can hold right underneath it towards a 430s, and we can look to see it get through 480s. Then $5 would be the next stop. So we'll see if we can get TEL through those levels tomorrow. Look at the hourly. You see how you push up towards the 470s. It comes back right to the 450s, 456. and then really starts trending back up. Let's see if we can get a dip towards 450, and then I'd try to take that one and scoop right back up. All right, let's go ahead. Let's catch up with the chat. What's up? What's up? What's the next one on the chat's mind? I'm seeing April here. April bringing in one MMAT. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Meta Materials, not a bad looking chart. Let's take a look at the daily. Did get a gap up. I wonder what that gap was for. If there's some news out there, definitely let me know. But look at this little bounce off the support. It's not a bad looking chart. Gone all the way up there towards 21. It did have a little bit of a gap up, gap down right here, so it could come back to test that 1380s. We'll see if one catches a bid. But if you look on the hourly, this is what I'd kind of use on a stock like that. I'd definitely use an hourly because I don't want to get caught catching a kind of a fake out rip. And so you see kind of this pullback. You got this first action, first pullback action, second pullback action, third attempt, and then we cleared it, right? Now that's important is the support underneath it. Can we gain support and really start getting some volume to trade here to push it on through those levels? I'd want it to really hold any kind of movement down towards, let's say, 725 and holding this support, and then really kind of curving here and then getting up back through 8 would look good in MMAT. But you've had those 3 actions on the breakdown. You could get another fake out breakdown and then a quick recovery through that $8. That's what I'd be paying attention to in MMAT. Let's keep going. I got another one, Wealth, mentioning slug. I'm actually working really hard on getting this interview. I think I might be able to be getting this interview within the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned, Wealth, if you want to see an interview from this company. But I'm going to be paying attention towards it. It's not a bad one. I've definitely called this one out before with AESE. The real question is, do we catch a bid down here? We've been kind of just bouncing around, but gaming's kind of getting out of play right now, at least in favor. You can take a look at ATVI, and it hasn't really been giving that big push out. EA is another one. One of the things that I want to see is, do we get a continued move? Because Zynga is another one that I've been waiting to see when is it going to get moving. And Zynga is starting to set up now. At least we got this push up and pull back. Let's see if we can get a continued push in some of these stocks. So Zynga's not a bad one also to keep on radar. SLGG, definitely keep it on watch. We'll see if it gets moving. Hertz mentioning the Genius. I already gave you one, so I'll just take a quick look because I like the stock. As you can see, I've tried to been trading this one, and it's just holding. It needs to get back above 2. All right, let's go ahead. Astria. Astria is one that just made a monster move. You can take a look at that, but Astria is just, well, I mean, Astria is just Helicity right now, but it's going to be trading on over, so just pay attention to it. One of the things is you could get a pullback closer towards 1166. Made a huge rip out, but I'll keep moving on. Let's go ahead to another one. Job being mentioned by Kash. I got you. I like the name. Let's go ahead and take it up here. Job. All right. A little penny stock action. I can't blame you, man, if you're dipping your toes in that. One of the things is this one does have a shadow. Shadows sometimes have a tendency of getting filled. The biggest thing is, of course, know you're out in every trade that you take. So if your out is, let's say, this 48.03, which is the low right here that I can see, that's not the worst. Or maybe your out's 51 and you're sticking close, about 6 cents on this one, looking for a push back up here towards 83. And so that's a good risk to return. So I can't kill you on the trade. The only thing I can say is when you're trading these penny stocks and you have a ton of shares, you got to really stay tight. And so sometimes you might get stopped out because of market makers. So be careful also with stops on a stock like this because you will get chased after by those market makers. All right, let's keep going. I got a couple more in me, about 2 more in me, and then I got to get on out of here. Already starting to feel the bell. I'm feeling it. Got to call it. It's time to get that Denver on, if you know what I mean. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up here. SOS. Richard, the loyal here, definitely here all the time. So I'm going to definitely take a look at this one. This was one that for a long time, I just laughed at the name. I'm not going to lie, because I missed this big move up. So I was just like, SOS, you sound like you need an emergency. But let's take a look here. Can this emergency get back up? And can it get ripping? One of the things I use is a weekly support. So we kind of see this weekly support. We kind of look to the left always. That's what I look. The worst thing you can do when you're drawing on a chart is looking right where you're at. Look to your left. Look at your history. Try to draw it off of that, and then look to the right to see if it matches versus let me just draw it right where I see it on the right-hand side and then look to see if it matches anything on the left. No, I start on the left and look to see if it matches the right. All right, so one of the things I can clearly see is maybe it's not this resistance that's right here. Maybe it's a little bit closer towards the body that we're holding towards the support on, but that's not a bad look. At least you're getting closer towards it. You're trying to understand. All right, so let's take it towards that body. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, now we've had a touch. Now it doesn't look too bad. We've had multiple wicks above this to try to get this breakout. Now let's go ahead and take a look here a little bit closer here. Now, one of the things that I would want to see is another attempt back down towards that line, which is a 281. But if we look here on the hourly, that's what I want to kind of take a closer look. I'd look at the kind of a singular trend, and you can look at this right here. Boom. This is kind of the hourly look. You got a down action, up 1, down action, up 2, down action, up 3. Look for it to come make that up 3, then try to come back down and then break out. This one still needs a little bit more consolidation in my eyes, and that's SOS. Last one I'll mention, green. I like this one, QS, because it has at least that good potential. Started to move up, but really one of the things with this one is this one had so much hype behind it when it made that move. The question is, can it hold this support right underneath it? Has a support there really close towards 26. So 26 is kind of that line in the sand. We'll see if QuantumScape starts moving. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Definitely. I appreciate the pizza fun, Hertz. You already know that's what it's all about. Order some slices. Yeah, I like me some slices. You guys already know. I'm a big calzone type of guy. I like me some calzones. You got to have the calzone. But definitely smash the like, guys, if you guys are enjoying this. Ford being mentioned in the chat. I'm a big Ford guy. I used to have a Mustang Cobra myself. I miss it. So, hey, Ford. We'll see if it can fill that gap down at the 14. That's what I'm looking at. I heard it mentioned also on At the Close. If you guys haven't checked out that show, check it out with Joel Conan. I think it's one of the best also. And also, if you guys haven't seen trivia, we have a trivia show that's really fun. We do this on Fridays. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to teach you guys all about that show because that show is just too much fun. If you guys are missing that show, you guys are missing out. Definitely smash the like. Come on through for SPACs Attack tomorrow. We'll talk all about some SPACs. And if you got any questions on SPACs, definitely hit up Chris Catchy. That's our SPAC expert, or like I like to call him, Chrisopedia. But definitely, guys, hit the thumbs up. I'll be back tomorrow. Let me know, guys, if there's a stock that you guys want me to do a deep dive into their investor presentation, look into their fundamentals, their technicals. I've enjoyed being with you guys all week. We've had some great winners. We're going to look to see if CCIV continues moving. Vzio. JD made a nice move. A little bit of a paper hand reaction today, but hey, you live and you learn. That's what it's always about. Don't struggle about it. Live and learn. That's what's important, guys. When you get those down lessons, if you can't make them really, if you can't benefit from them, then they're not lessons. They're just downturns. So turn those downturns into lessons. Understand when you make mistakes. Like, hey, we're all going to make mistakes. We're not perfect. But one thing you can do is always try to stick to what you know best. Build your skills. If you don't know the stories, start working on that. If you don't know the fundamentals, start working on that. If you don't know technicals, start working on that. Once you got all three, you're going to start seeing a different kind of reaction and an understanding of the overall market, and you can jump onto these story stocks. You saw how we went through a lot of stocks today. And the biggest thing is that sector and industry analysis. I think that's what really does me well. And I can go ahead and stay with the news flow, find that rotation. And when we find that rotation, jump on that opportunity. That's exactly what we did in tech. That's how we got those big gains. That's how we killed it in Tesla. That's how we killed it in multiple stocks. I mean, we're still doing really great. We've had some great picks over the weeks. So definitely smash the like, guys. I'll see you guys in the comments and hit me up. What stocks are moving? What stocks you want me to do more of? I'll hit you guys up. Definitely, guys. Up next, you guys got Aftermarket Therapy. This will be up in about 5 minutes. So stay tuned, guys. And like always, let me know. Money Mitch, the bull market is here to stay, and I'll find an opportunity out there.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.